Good afternoon, folks. The great Matt Geib with you once again from MLM Skills Anyone Can Master. And I've just been sitting here today on this beautiful, it's almost a fall-like day in Washington State here, Western Washington. Just kind of reflecting on a call I was on recently. And it's a Jim Rohn call. I think a lot of you have heard of Jim Rohn. And the title of the call was, let me go through my notes here. Make a life, not just a living. Make a life, not just a living. And you know, Jim Rohn was the master of just putting things in perspective and painting word pictures and saying things that tug at your heart. And toward the end of the call, he talked about 4 things that really impacted me. And he talked about the 4 ifs that make life worthwhile. The 4 ifs that make life worthwhile. Let me share them with you. If you continue to learn, that will make life worthwhile. If you continue to learn, that will make life worthwhile. If you continue to try, that will make your life worthwhile. If you continue to stay, that will make life worthwhile. And if you continue to care, that will make your life worthwhile. And you know, that just really impacted me as a man that's middle-aged or maybe over middle-aged now. I just reflected back on a lot of my life, and you know, if you continue to learn, you know, Jim Rohn always talked about being a student. Continue to be a student. You know, we don't just stop learning when we leave, you know, grade school, high school, college. We continue to learn, and yet I think so many people nowadays, you know, we could look at the statistics even, they talk about so many that leave high school never read a book again. So many people don't continue to learn. And that's a joy of life. Continue to always learning something, always being, I think it lends itself to being open-minded, which leads to Jim Rohn's next point. Continue to try. Continue to attempt things. Continue to be persistent in the pursuit of something. Continue to attempt things. Again, so many people, it seems like I'm looking at it from my age perspective. They get a certain age and they think that, you know, I'm too old to learn. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. But that's so untrue. I think the time that we stop attempting to learn something new is the time we stop to grow. And then maybe we do become old. Continue to stay. In other words, be persistent. If you start something, finish it. And boy, I can look back on my life, and there were so many things I started and I didn't finish. You know, that's not to say I didn't finish some things. I did. I had a career. But there's so many things that looking back on it, it seems like when we're younger, one of the traits that we have to learn to develop is patience. And we don't have patience. And how many opportunities have we missed because we didn't finish something? Even finishing something that we know we're not necessarily going to continue, whether it's a job. And Jim talked a lot about being in jobs that weren't necessarily your dream job, but continuing them and making an attempt to be persistent and do a good job till another opportunity opened up. And so many people say, well, I won't give my best until I get my dream job. Well, you know, like Jim says, and I found out from experience, unless you are giving your best in what you're doing now, you probably won't have an opportunity for something better. And finally, if you care, that will make your life worthwhile. If you care, if you have a concern about something, if you have a passion about something, you know, and he painted such a beautiful word picture about how he built an income to the point of where he could be on the Mexican Riviera with his 2 grandchildren when they were 15 and 16 and have 2 to 4 hour lunches with them and just talk and share from the heart. You know, he was able to do that because he cared about his family. And a lot of people, today I think a number of people give up caring because maybe their heart's been broken, maybe they failed at things. They don't want to be vulnerable and get hurt again. But really, if you care, your life will be worthwhile. I think of the biblical story of King David when he was a young boy, and he came into the camp of Israel to visit his brothers, and they were all cowered in fear because there was a big giant named Goliath in the other camp that every day for 7 or 8 days had challenged them to send out somebody to fight him. The Goliath, the big fear giant. And David, little David, who was probably just a teenager at the time, rose up and said, "Is there not a cause in Israel? Isn't there something to be caring about or passionate about?" And we all know that he went out and defeated Goliath. What are your Goliaths today? What are the things that are holding you back today from caring, from saying, is there not a cause? Is there not something I can pick up and find meaning for, to give my life to in my life? And those are the 4 ifs that make life worthwhile by Jim Rohn. If you keep learning, if you keep being a student, your life will be worthwhile. If you keep attempting and trying, even though you fall and stumble, your life is worthwhile. If you stay the course and are persistent in things, finish the course. You know, may not be always the number one thing you want to do, but be a finisher. It makes your life worthwhile. And if you care, if you find something, your family, maybe a hobby that you can really be passionate about, your life will be worthwhile. Be blessed, my friends. I hope these words affect you, these lessons affect you like the way they did me. Be blessed and have a prosperous week. Take care.